what's the impact of $100 billion coming into Bitcoin? You know, well, I think we've seen what the impact of, $10 billion coming into Bitcoin in 2021 is. What's the impact of $100 billion coming into Bitcoin? I think it could 10x Bitcoin. That's kind of my gut feel. So, and roughly speaking, rough math on these numbers is we kind of know that, let's say it's right now at 50,000. I'm just going to round it up to 50,000. 100 billion at 50,000 is 2 million Bitcoin, right? How are you going to get 2 million Bitcoin into an ETF when there's only 2 million Bitcoin trading on exchanges right now?
What effect could 100 billion have on Bitcoin's price? A whole hell of a lot, I'm guessing. Don't have to take it from me. Take it from Fred Krueger. That man has a PhD from Stanford. He knows math. And everyone's starting to figure out that when it comes to Bitcoin, well, all the math adds up. And global bank Standard Chartered expects multiple Bitcoin ETFs in Q1 of 2024. Institutional money to pour into Bitcoin. As Krueger was hinting at there, it could be a big deal. And Standard Chartered has a price target of 100K. It looks like the finishing touches have all been done. Here we go from Bitcoin Magazine. Bitwise predicts when spot Bitcoin ETFs are approved by the SEC, they will collectively be the most successful ETF launch of all time. Bitwise is also projecting Bitcoin to hit a new all-time high of 80,000 in 2024. Guys, there's 13 spot Bitcoin ETF issuers, and everyone's competing for a piece of that 21 million Bitcoin. There is no second best. There is only one asset, Bitcoin. And the institutional marketing wars are beginning. 2024, 2025 is going to be insane. Prepare yourselves. As Krueger said, this may be the cycle to end all cycles. We get a lot to cover. Let's get it.
Party, that party. Yeah, come and have a good time with G.O.D.
Michael Saylor is not selling his Bitcoin. Block One is not selling their Bitcoin. Satoshi is not selling his Bitcoin or her Bitcoin. Draper is not selling his Bitcoin at 50,000. So this Bitcoin, you're talking this very small supply of 2 million Bitcoin, and sort of almost an equivalent demand right there in that first year. The math is just very clear. The price has to go up to match the demand.
So if you've been hanging around on Bitcoin Twitter, you can see amendments to ETFs being dropped multiple times a day. Why are so many ETF applicants being refiled? Well, the signal, according to Bitcoin Archive, is the SEC is making its approval terms very clear to Blackrock, Fidelity, all the big dogs, and they're all falling into line, and they just keep knocking on Gary's door. And just in, Valkyrie filed its 4th amendment to its spot Bitcoin ETF with the SEC. And then BlackRock proposes an innovative model to facilitate banks' participation in the ETF spot Bitcoin against all SEC predictions. Let's get to the good stuff. BlackRock's strategic redesign of the Bitcoin spot ETF model is at the forefront of financial innovation, offering Wall Street banks an unprecedented gateway to Bitcoin. This pioneering approach not only meets regulatory constraints, but also exemplifies the commitment to market transparency and integrity. The outcome of the SEC's deliberations could usher in a new era at the intersection of traditional finance and the evolving landscape of digital assets, outlining a trajectory of institutional involvement in the Bitcoin market. And Mr. Fred Krueger had some interesting things to share with Marty Bent on TFTC. Is this the super cycle, the cycle to end all? Let's see what he had to say.
I think that this cycle will be the last and potentially one of the best of all the cycles, right? So if I had to guess, right, we've had diminishing every time, right? All 3 cycles so far, they've been down, right? But I think this one's going to be an up cycle. So I think we'll do north of 10x this cycle. Okay. But then that's it. That's kind of my thinking, right? Because I actually think that the ETF impact is going to be bigger than the halving impact, right? I think that the ETF, I think it'll maybe be 5x the halving impact, right? I think this is the big event. I think in general, the halving is less important now, just because of the sheer amount of Bitcoin that's left to mine. But I also think this cycle gets us to a price where where we're kind of at parity with gold, for example, right? And at that price, I'm not even sure. We might even have some negative cycles. It's possible, right? I just think this particular 4 years is really the key thing.
Kind of interesting to think that the Bitcoin ETF will 10 to 15x the halving, which if we go back like peak to trough, so March 2020 crash, let's say between 3 to 6K, then all-time high Bitcoin went to 69K. That's about a 13 to 15x. Then if you 10x that, that's like a 150x from Bitcoin's current price. I don't know if we're bullish enough. Or Krueger's out of his mind, but with Blackrock and the banks hopping in, that's another paradigm coming in, and all leading to those 3 things Michael Saylor foresaw that would send Bitcoin to 5 million, possibly by 2030, if not sooner. But Credit Suisse executives launched Bitcoin crypto exchange for banks and securities firms. Everybody wants Bitcoin, the demand is there, and the Trojan horse is entering the gates. Another interesting development on the ETF front, the SEC implements cash redemption model, allowing authorized applicants of the spot ETF to deposit funds into the ETF equal to the NAV of the new creation units. The fund will then purchase the corresponding amount of Bitcoin using those funds. I don't know if you guys caught any of the Fed and FOMC, but it's looking like rate cuts by April, Bitcoin ETF by April, likely January. The happening will be here before April. Are you freaking kidding me? Pack your bags. 2024 and 2025 are gonna melt faces. I mean, there's one alternative. You could always store your value, time, energy in cuck bucks and lose it all over time. That is guaranteed. That is a mathematical certainty. You might want to opt out of that system. And also, you don't want to make the mistake of shitcoining. Here we go, financial giant Cantor Fitzgerald. This guy gets it. I'm a fan of Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin. You know why?
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right? Right? There's no second best. Okay. It's not like Google and Facebook. It's not like Apple and Amazon. Yeah. We can debate Apple or Amazon. What's better? They both look like tech monopolies to me. They both look pretty good. On the other end, Bitcoin or no, Bitcoin. Bitcoin's crypto asset. This entire idea of like 60% dominance is bullshit, ridiculous, stupid, right? Like it's stupid. It's not 60% dominant. It's like 96% or 95% dominant, right? The thing, if you compare it as a crypto asset to a like kind of proof of work crypto network, right? That's meant to be a store of value. You're lucky if you can scrape together 5% of other stuff in the last bucket. So there is no real competitor.
When you have this most scarce, most desirable property on the planet, you want to make sure you're securing it. And whether you're just getting started with Bitcoin or further down the rabbit hole, the Bitcoin Way is here to help you wherever you are in your journey. As your dedicated Bitcoin IT team, the Bitcoin Way is here to guide you start to finish on your journey to properly self-custody your Bitcoin. What's more, they've recently introduced 100% privacy-focused collaborative custody services where you're going to benefit from advanced multi-sig security, inheritance planning, and much more while remaining 100% in control. Looking to get started? Go ahead and book a free 30-minute call using that link below. So many cuck bucks, so much demand from major institutions, but so little Bitcoin. And in the meantime, the addresses with non-zero balances has surpassed 50 million. There's that Bitcoin being all volatile again. Up and to the right. Some people can't handle it. Interesting development as well. According to BIS, starting January 1st, 2025, banks will be allowed to hold up to 2% in Bitcoin in their reserves. Throw those shitcoins in the trash. They only lead to pain and despair. But not Bitcoin, baby. Bitcoin's all about the bright orange future. We got 8 billion humans at war with fiat currency, and now we have a weapon to defend ourselves. That is Bitcoin. Shout outs Corey Clipston. Onward to the bright orange future. Man, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Be sure to like, subscribe, share that sound money gospel, and be sure to follow us on Twitter where we're getting all the latest breaking news. Set those notifications and we'll be your guide through the peaceful Bitcoin revolution. Things are looking very bullish, ladies and gentlemen, and tomorrow we got some more news following up on this one that also plays into Michael Saylor's prediction of Bitcoin hitting 5 million. So stay tuned, stay informed, stay free, stay sovereign, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.